Hey there, YouTube. Shady Bill's Garage here, and I'm going to do a review of my friend John's 2014, the first year of the Rushmore platform, Harley Davidson Street Glide. And is it worth upgrading to this bike off the previous generation? That's the bike I've had, and I've been riding this bike for about 1,000 miles now. I feel like I have a really good sense of the improvements and what it's better at, and what it may be a little bit worse at than the previous model. So we're going to go into this right now. We'll break down the horsepower numbers, the torque numbers, quarter mile, improvements. We'll go over all the things that improved from the 2013 model to this one, and then what that feels like in real life. All right, so here we go. This is the 2014. It's the Street Glide Special. With the Special, you got a few things like your linked ABS brakes. We'll talk about that in a minute. You have your larger screen with nav, 19-inch front wheel. I think it's called the Enforcer wheel, and a lot of things that are just special and new for the 2014 model and up. All right, we'll start with, everyone's going to say horsepower. Let's start with horsepower. This is the 103 high output motor. The 2013 had a 103, but it wasn't the high output motor. What's the difference? The HO motor has 76 horsepower at 4,890 RPM and 95 foot-pounds of torque at 3,500 RPM. But 80 foot-pounds of it is available from 2,000 RPM and up. This motor definitely feels stronger than the old motor. The old motor had 69 horsepower and 88 foot-pounds of torque. So these motors are unbelievably reliable. I will tell you from personal experience, my Street Glide I just sold was a 2008. If you look at my old videos, you can find my review on that. I've had it a couple of years. I bought that bike the year my friend John bought this bike because he let me ride it, and I'm like, oh my God, this thing is amazing. My whole life I said, I don't want a couch, I don't want a touring bike. They're stupid. You ride one and you're like, oh no, I was stupid. This bike is amazing. If I could only have one bike in my life, and I never planned on riding a dirt road again, this would be it. All right, it's a Harley. It's not fast, but it's powerful. It's torquey. All right, how fast and how torquey is it? Well, Cycle World ran this thing through the quarter mile back in 2014, and they tell me that it ran a 13.31 at 97.18 miles an hour. All right, this thing is not fast by motorcycle standards, but fast by car standards. Off the line, 0 to 60, 4.4 seconds. Not many cars will beat that. That's probably about what my M5 runs. So off the line, it's fast. Okay, don't let anyone tell you that Harleys aren't fast enough. This bike is fast enough for street use and for what it is. All right, you're not going drag racing on a Harley. All right, some of the improvements. We'll start with the front fairing, which they said, get this, the Rushmore platform. Why is it the Rushmore platform? Harley said, I shit you not, there is a mountain of improvements from the old bikes. Okay, I don't think it's a mountain, maybe more of a molehill, but what did it have? All right, this vent here, which comes up here, which you can close. They say it helps reduce beard lift. So if you have a big-ass beard, apparently this helps. I do not have a big-ass beard, but apparently it helps. I'm going to say I keep it open all the time. I think it does help a little bit with buffeting, like they said. With this little windshield, I'm 5'11". It hits you right at the top of my head. You can obviously change these. It takes a few minutes. You have a speedometer. A fuel gauge, speedometer, tachometer, a voltmeter. What did you lose? You lost a couple things off the old model, but you didn't. If you hit this info button right here, you have what you lost. Air temp, oil pressure, and the stupid rear cylinder deactivate, which I have deactivated, which will let the bike run on one cylinder while if it's hot at a stoplight. They say it's only for rider comfort. To me, no fuel going in the cylinder can't be good for it. I don't do it. This little bucket here has a USB charger. They say it'll hold a phone. Maybe in 2014 phones, it held a phone. Here's my last phone. I stick it in. I have no case. I can't close it. So it would be lovely if I could put my phone in there. But if you were going to buy one of these bikes and you want to keep your phone in there so it can charge while you're using it, measure it, get a smaller phone, put your smaller phone in there. Okay, home. It's a radio. This is nothing earth-shattering. You can set up your Bluetooth so you can listen to YouTube. You can listen to my YouTube channel. You can listen to Pandora, any of your online streaming channels, which is nice. All right. Tuner. You have FM, AM. I'm a plumber. Okay. You can turn the volume up here. Got your cruise control here because this is a special. Wideband, which I don't know anyone who uses. You have navigation. You can go to maps. We'll just go map. And here's where I am. You can put in, obviously everyone knows what a map looks like. Nothing special. Of course, it tells you where your closest Harley dealership is because, why wouldn't it? But, maybe one day you're right in the middle of nowhere and you need a part. There you go. You can get to the closest Harley dealership. All right. The biggest improvement I find on this bike, the thing I find the best, is these new bags. Now, if you remember, the old bags would open here. They'd flop up like that. And I can't tell you how many times with my old bike, those bags opened up on a bumpy road. The new bags, this little lever here, you flip it, and you have your bag. Apparently, it's got a little bit more room in it than the old ones. Doesn't really feel like it, but it is a much more secure, nice bag. You can also lock them here with your key fob. In this case, I have the cordless key, the wireless key fob, basically smart start. You come in here, you turn it on. As long as you have your key with you, the bike will start. They upgraded the forks on this model. They went to a 49 millimeter fork and they got rid of the air shocks in the back to regular spring adjustable shocks. What does that mean for a ride? This bike definitely handles on good roads a little more secure. It's less wallowy. The old bike, I would say, on a really crappy road, because the springs were a little softer, the suspension was a little bit softer, it was more compliant on a really rough, crappy, bumpy road. On this bike, that crappy, bumpy road is crappier. You feel it. It hammers through your spine a little bit more. But if the road is good, this will lean much more. You're much more confidence-inspiring on a good road. Like, you're leaned over, it doesn't wallow as much. The old bike would kind of just squirm and wiggle around a little bit. Not enough to be concerning. This bike squirms and wallows a little bit less. So I will say the suspension is definitely a marked improvement, unless you happen to be riding like gravel roads. If you have to take gravel roads home every day, really, really crappy roads, you probably would, I would say, probably get the older one. Get the softer suspension. All right, weight. This thing weighs 780 pounds dry. 818 pounds with fuel. She's not light, but once you're moving, you don't feel it. If you've probably all seen the police videos, what the cops can do on those courses, these bikes will turn. They are very nimble once you're moving. All right, the only time that 800 pounds bothers you is backing up out of like a parking spot. If you have to pull it up a little bit uphill, getting out of your garage. Once you're moving, that weight melts away. All right, holds 6 gallons of fuel. Like I said, 13.31 in the quarter mile at 97 miles an hour. RPM while you're cruising, 2,320 RPM at 60. It's a low revving, nice bike to just put miles on. All right, so the 103 engine, like I said, 96 horsepower, 95 foot-pounds of torque, 80 foot-pounds of that is over 2,000 RPM, above the prior street glide of 69 and 88 foot-pounds. So thanks, YouTube. Any comments? Let me know. I appreciate it.